I'd like to tell the full story of my my critic, my somewhat intemperately behaved critic from last night, from the previous video. I'd like to paint a fuller picture of what went down for those who are interested. And I'll probably end up writing about this because it was somewhat harrowing, but it was definitely interesting. I showed up early for this event, and when I came in, there were just a few people in the bar, and this bar has, as I've said, I might have said before, it has a pool room that's adjoining. It's not a separate room. It's just like a step up from the room where the bar is and where the setup for the open mic comedy is. And so there were a few people in the pool room, and I just sort of stepped in there for a minute, was looking around because, like I said, I was there early. I was just, I don't know, wandering around because there wasn't much to do, just taking in the sights. And suddenly I heard this voice say, "I like your shirt." And I looked down, and it's the same shirt I'm wearing today. It's my Duran Duran shirt. And I look up, and it's this young man with long, like sort of like Pink Floyd in the 70s kind of hair, you know, long and straight hair, you know, looking very much like a girl's hair, and like, you know, beyond shoulder length. You know, you saw the guy. I think it was a guy. Pretty sure it was a guy. Although I don't know what his pronouns are. But anyway, so I said, "Oh, thanks." And I thought to myself, "Oh, that seems like a nice kid." So, you know, but I didn't think very much else of it. So later on, I do my set, and you can watch, or you can hear the set as it's recorded, as I recorded it. Audio only. I don't have anybody there to videotape me, so I don't have an entourage most of the time. But I did my set, and I was afterwards just standing near the steps that go up. This is a bar where you take steps down. It's sort of a basement bar. So I was standing near these steps, and this other guy came up, and it was this nice guy, this young man from Colombia, who had started doing comedy. He told me that, he asked me about how I was doing with my mother, which I thought was very nice and considerate. He revealed that he had lost his brother last year, and so you know, we talked a little bit about that. He told me, good job, and you know, sort of, and I was, you know, just talking to him, but I wasn't aware, but you know, it was in my periphery, but I wasn't aware until later that this guy, this young man, the one who told me he liked my Duran Duran shirt earlier, was standing behind the guy I was talking to, and just sort of looking unhappy, looking kind of bitchy, but I didn't notice him, and I didn't notice that he was aiming his look at me. And he finally had to say something to get my attention. And I think he said something like, "Excuse me," and I'm not exaggerating. This sounds like I'm, making fun of him. I'm exaggerating the way he talks to make fun of him. But if you watch that video, this is not an exaggeration. So he was like, "Excuse me, you want to talk about that Nazi set that you just did?" Or something like that. He mentioned me being a Nazi, and I said my Palestinian wife. He mentioned having a Palestinian wife, which, as I said, as many of you noted, it's surprising. But then again, I don't know what his pronouns are, and I don't know the pronouns of his wife either. So keep that in mind. Just don't know. You can't assume anything these days. But he was angry. He was pissed off. He was offended, and he was just unhinged, as you saw him in the video. And I thought to myself, I was taken aback, and of course not. It was distressing. But I also thought to myself, I've got my camera. This should go on film. I want to videotape this. This is an interesting specimen to sort of contain, to put in a jar and look at, as it were. So so I stepped up the steps so that we wouldn't be interrupting the comedian, because there's already people talking at the bar. It's a real problem at this place. You probably heard it if you watched my set. There's a lot of chatter. There's not enough. There are people actually paying attention, watching the comedians perform, but there's always also just a lot of chatter. It's very distracting, and the people in the pool room are, not paying any attention, and they're also talking, and so it's really not an optimal situation. So I didn't want to just have this guy going off angrily and loudly at me. I didn't want any more distractions for whoever was performing at that point. So I went up the steps and I got out my camera and put on I hit record, and so that's why when you see the video, I'm basically facing down. It's because I'm up on a flight, a few steps up. And he's down there because he wasn't going to move. He wasn't going to do anything for me. And I just said, well, I just think it's polite for the performers on stage. So that's why I moved. He stayed put. And you saw the exchange, and you saw just how incoherent his objections were. And this is what still stands with me. I mean, he's just some guy, in a way, so it should be just sort of I understand those of you saying, Wiki, what do you care? It's just some crazy fruitcake. What does it matter? Yeah, but he's representative of something, isn't he? I mean, can you deny? Can you deny that he's not representative of a certain segment of the population right now? I'm not indicting all of Gen Z, because my kids are Gen Z and they're both great, and their friends, for all I know, are all fine. But this guy was not fine. This guy had some problems. So what I found most weird was that he was wanting to attack me, like he was wanting to get angry with me for somehow insulting his Palestinian wife by talking about the 5 dancing Israelis. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, you're pro-Palestinian. You should like that I made fun of the 5 dancing Israelis, or that I wanted to draw attention to the 5 dancing Israelis. And it was really strange to me that talking about some aspect of something that alleges an Israeli connection to 9/11, which is what the 5 dancing Israelis are all about, among other things. If you look them up, I'm not going to talk about it here, but that's the reference. So this guy, he's like an angry young leftist. He's all upset about what's happening in Gaza. He said that the genocide in Gaza, and I was like, what? I didn't talk about the genocide in Gaza, you idiot. I didn't say you idiot, but that's what I was thinking. I said I talked about the 5 dancing Israelis. So how are you offended at me talking about something that alleges Israeli complicity in 9/11 when your point of reference is that you have a Palestinian wife and you're against what Israel's doing in Gaza right now? It just made no sense. It was like he wanted to have, and he also said anti-Semitic. Like you're wanting to call me anti-Semitic. You're wanting to throw that hit me with that cudgel, while also also being talking about the Gaza genocide. Pick a lane. Pick a lane and stay there. But he somehow was. It was like I got him to say, well, yeah, okay, that's true that the dancing Israelis do point out something bad about the state of Israel, and I'm against what the state of Israel is doing. But then you started talking about the vaccine, and so because I made fun of my final gag was about how many vaccinated people does it take to change a light bulb, and the punchline was we don't know because they keep dying, and that got under his skin because I was sounding like a conspiracy theorist, like a Nazi conspiracy theorist, or a far right conspiracy theorist or something. It just and like he was wanting to get me canceled. Like he was wanting to talk to the management. Like he went over and talked to someone and then said to me, "They're going to be talking to you in a minute." like I just got you in trouble. Like this hall monitor mentality. Like I tattled on you and now you're in trouble. Ha ha ha. It's so childish. It really is incredibly childish. For what? Like for saying things that he didn't like. And again, a part of the our exchange, as you'll recall, was that I said it might not have been on video. He said, "What was that? Why were you saying things like that?" And I said, "That was freedom of speech." And he said, "Well, look, if I spat in your face right now, would that be freedom of speech? If I spat on you right now, would that be freedom of speech?" And I was thinking, no, that would be assault. But I was actually thinking he was going to hawk Tua on me. I didn't know it was going to happen, but at least I had the upper ground, the higher ground. I have the higher ground, So we were able to avert any spittle flying, and that's that. I mean, just a weird show, weird event. Now I did, you know, I did sort of let it rip that night. I did decide I was gonna just go all red pill with my material, which I haven't really done yet. That was the first time I had actually done that. So, I mean, I guess, you know, you got to expect consequences, but it's just strange when the person who hates you for what you said can't even really nail down what you said that was so bad, but knows that you're just you're an asshole, you're a bad person, and he wants to see to it that something is done with you. Now, I mean, this kid, you know, he's a skinny weakling, you know, but he's when you got all that kind of anger, even a, you know, a little 110-pound, you know, skinny little boy, or whatever, or however he identifies, you know, they could still cause damage. You know, they could still become a whirling dervish of violence. I could easily, like, he was a hair's breadth away from just going off, you know. And I mean, I'd like to think I could probably have overpowered him, but I'm not. I'm not. I don't have the anger and the vitriol within me that he had towards me at that moment. You know, I wasn't hepped up on you know, like this. It's sort of almost like a drug, this kind of hatred that they have. This kind of hatred and contempt and revilement and just whatever activates. So it just fizzled out. Nothing happened. A couple other people tried to talk him down. One guy said, "Look, it's just comedy, man. Just take it easy." Which you might have seen at the end of the video, but still, it's one of those things that I just wanted to make a record of it, and I wanted to make a record of my reflections on it, for better or for worse. So those are my thoughts on that exchange, and thanks for watching.